Hi, it's Elise here with a whole new teen book spotlight. I'm here in our teen section here at Bowman Library. So for this week, we are taking a look at one of my favorite topics, and that is new books. We have 6 new books here that we've gotten in the past couple of weeks that we're going to take a look at. So let's get started. Our first one is Punching the Air. So when 16-year-old Amal and his friends get involved in a fight with a group of white boys, he is arrested and found guilty for assault, as well as the rest of his friends. They get sent to prison as well as part of some plea deals. None of the white boys were charged for their actions in this whole scuffle. We as readers get to follow Amal's experience through the juvenile prison system as he witnesses how unjust the system is and how it changes individuals internally and externally, including him. The only thing that Amal can count on is his painting and poetry to get him through this time. In this novel and verse, you will be able to see through Amal's eyes, as well as examine your own thoughts and opinions about this real-life situation and scenario that teenagers find themselves in every day. You will find yourself asking so many questions and not having or being able to find the answers to this current day topic, while also maybe changing your point of view. This is Punching the Air. You should see me in a crown. I'm going to tell you right now, I just started listening to this book and it is so good. So it is her senior year and Liz has it all planned out. She got into Pennington College and she's going to go there for pre-med, and she has auditioned to be in their prestigious orchestra. And when she's gonna get into orchestra, because she's gonna get into the orchestra, she's also gonna get a $10,000 scholarship that's going to allow her to afford to be able to go to Pennington College. But one afternoon, she gets an email informing her that not only did she not get the scholarship, but she did not get into the orchestra as well. And she is devastated. Everything she has planned for her whole life has just crumbled. The only thing that she's going to be able to do to save this is the one thing she doesn't want to do, and that is to enter the competition for prom queen, which is a huge deal in her school, and it comes with a $10,000 scholarship to your college of choice. So completely out of her league, she recruits her friends and family members to help her through this transformative journey, which changes her both inside and out. And Liz starts to really realize who she is as an individual. This realistic book goes so much deeper than what you think it's going to, and you'll be cheering for Liz each step of the way. You should see me in a crown. Last, bus to Everland. So, while being bullied by 2 classmates, Brody is rescued by this mysterious Spanish boy named Nico, who is wearing blue wings. And Nico invites him to come meet up with him the following Thursday night, exactly at 11:22 p.m. When they do, Nico introduces Brody to an alternative world named Everland, this magical place where no one dies and no one can be hurt, and you can be who you really want to be. There, Brody makes friends. He starts to be himself. He actually, gets to be in a band, which is something he's always wanted to do, but has never done it. And he starts to fall in love with Nico. In the real world, though, things are getting worse as his father keeps getting sicker, the debts start to pile up, and Brody feels like he will never belong, especially in his family. Brody starts to wonder if he could stay in Everland forever and what would happen if it did, but that could cause him to lose everything. If you like contemporary fantasies based on a classic, in this case, this is based off Peter Pan, then this is what you are going to want to read. This is The Last Bus to Everland. Stolen Time. So it is 1913 and Dorothy is being forced to marry this wealthy man and she doesn't want to do it. So in order to avoid it, she runs away and she sees this aircraft nearby and she climbs in it, not realizing that it is actually a time machine. And it's flown by this pilot named Ash, who is actually lived during World War 2. So he was alive like 30 years after this time that Dorothy currently is in. She soon finds herself in the year 2077 in Seattle, which is completely underwater, and she discovers that Ash, is handling along with a few others from different parts of time. You know, they are part of this group of time travelers that are trying to stop this time traveling technology from falling into the wrong hands, because if it gets into the wrong hands, there could be drastic negative results. When the professor behind this technology disappears, though, it's going to be up to the group to time travel throughout every single possibility, and they need to find him and save him before the past, present, and future it's completely changed. If you like time traveling, mysteries, a ton of romance, then this first in a trilogy read, this is the one for you. This is Stolen Time. Then we have 2 nonfiction books, because again, nonfiction can be just as amazing as fiction. This one sounds so interesting. This is ripped from the headlines. This is if you love movies, if you love true crime, or if you love both, then this is perfect, because what this book does is it takes a look at 40 different movies and the true crimes or criminals that inspired like the movie storylines or the characters or specific scenes. Like, for example, classics such as Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, which was inspired by the crimes of serial killer Ed Gein, or the movie The Murder on the Orient Express, which was actually inspired by the Lindbergh baby kidnapping. And then there's that Clint Eastwood movie Dirty Harry. If you've ever seen that one, there's some classic moments in that one. That was all inspired by the still, free Zodiac killer who we've yet to even really track down. Some of the movies in there you may know, some you may have never even heard of. Some of the crimes or criminals, you might already know about them, but you are going to learn so much, and you may end up adding to your to read pile or to your to watch pile because of what you learn in ripped from the headlines. This is such an interesting look at how movies and real world events collide to make one thing, ripped from the headlines. And our last one is Hunting the Unabomber. So this is all about the Unabomber case that took place in the 1980s and 1990s. You will get to learn straight from the beginning, middle, end, as well as the history, the possible causes of this bombing spree that lasted over decades. And it put the whole country on such high alert that entire time. You may have seen things about the Unabomber before. I know there are some shows on Netflix about him and the events that led to everything taking place. But this is a worthwhile read if you are into true crime or you just want to learn more about this, because what I appreciate about it is it basically just takes a chronological look, very non-biased, about basically the facts about what happened during this whole time in our history. This is Hunting the Unabomber. So these are just 6 of the new books that we have here at the library, but we have a ton more. So whenever you come into the library, please, please, please make sure to check out our new book section right next to the manga books that we have here. It's their own bookcase. Please just always make sure you take a minute and just take a look and see what we have, because we are always getting new titles. I hope you tune back next week when we have a whole new teen book spotlight, and I hope you have a great week.